Dude, we know Henry Sr. is slanging it. So
He
like,
was too.
yeah, dude, it's in his
He's
blood.
the same woman as his son.
But I guess maybe they wanted Indy to get with the girl in this wombat. That bitch in this movie.
Helena.
Yeah, Helena. Maybe they're like, oh, maybe they should get together. And like, no, she's a dog.
I was gonna
Indy
say,
would
my
never
boy
do that.
Indy would never stoop to that level, dude.
I think it's safe to say Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a complete flop, failure on Lucasfilm. But I don't know if anyone's really distilling it down to the reasons why. They're kind of like, oh, bad character, bad story.
Yeah.
But I think we have the top five reasons why this movie failed in the box office in the hearts and minds of all Indiana Jones fans. So, and before we get into this, let us know what you think, or what are your reasons why you think this movie failed in the box office. Gator, let's go with our number one, in no particular order, reasons why Indiana Jones 5 failed. He's not a punching bag.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a punching bag at all in this movie, and he always has been in the past. I don't know what it is, like with Skywalker sound or Lucasfilm soundboard, whatever you want to say, but punches used to sound like gunshots in the Indiana Jones movies.
It's cartoony.
It's that super cartoony, but it's great. And some of these impacts you feel, and it goes both ways. Not only punches that Indy delivers, but ones that are delivered to his face. And in this movie, I don't blame him. He's old. He's probably sick of doing stunts and everything, but you still want to see this guy be scrappy. He's supposed to be Indiana Jones. We're supposed to see him the same way, I think. And he just didn't take a beating like we want him to see. And that's a dead serious statement, man.
Me and my friends have discussed this. My friends, not you, right? Me and my friends have discussed this before, that some of the best scenes in Indiana Jones is when he's fighting a basically human giant, a guy like twice his size, and he's getting his ass kicked. And you just watch him endure and try to like get through this thing. And by like the skin of his teeth, he's able to, get by this person. We got a giant person in this, but not once, I think, did Indiana Jones ever hit him, because I think he would have
He got hit
him forever.
He got hit by him real quick, but it was like a little quick like jab or whatever to the face when they're on that boat. It's probably spoilers for this a little bit, but yeah, that was like one of the things we're looking forward to in this is like, oh, dude, I can't wait for whatever big climactic brawl is going to happen with this 7'2" daddy. You know what I mean? And it just never happens. It never happens. He dies in the most bitch way, man. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, speaking of the most bitch way of dying, that happens right at the end when they're like going toward, spoiler alert if you guys don't know already, but right as they're trying to get to the device, how did he die? He just like fell into water and got handcuffed down. This whole way to the device, and the device itself has no horror element. And this is another reason why this movie fails. Like every other Indiana Jones movie, you have the device or the consequences of whatever the artifact. I say device, but you know what I'm saying. Artifact.
Yeah.
Has some sort of horror element, almost like a monkey paws effect that, oh yeah, I'm going to use this to, gain eternal life. And it's like you picked the wrong one, or, you went down, you weren't following the correct steps,
you keep your eyes open when you're using it and you're screwed, dude.
Yeah.
You die. And that's true. And it's not just the horror. I mean, it is the horror element for sure, but the whole atmospheric effect that had been in the previous 3 Indiana Jones movies, whether it be Christian artifact or not, the atmosphere that you have surrounding these artifacts, it just wasn't there in this. And I understand they tried to make it super scientific. Like that's kind of a thing they went with here. Like, nope, there are no powers, no magic involved in this. They say this several times in Dial of Destiny. They say it's totally science-based. So I guess they're being true to themselves in that way, but that doesn't make for a good Indiana Jones movie. It's just not what we want to see. It's like, and this speaks to much more than just this point, but it felt like Andy didn't need to be in this movie. Like his assistant Helena, who was a much more science-based individual, she knew everything that Indy knew that was going to lead them to the device. At the same time, he knew it. He didn't add anything to the story, so it just kind of feels like a non-Indiana Jones movie that he was thrown into, and a huge part of it is because of this lack of atmosphere.
Well, you're just talking about like the devices themselves. And I think there is a reason why Temple of Doom isn't like held up to the steam. It probably should be, because I think it's underrated. I think we both agree it's underrated.
That's super underrated.
But these like magic stones, what are they even called? Do you remember what they're called?
Dude, hell no. I don't even think they're magic. They just glow.
The artifacts had no cultural significance. And in this one, it didn't as well. Same with Crystal Skull. Like, what was the Crystal Skull? No one even knows the fuck that is. People want something that like like if they had like the fleece of Jason's fleece, I'm talking about, the golden fleece from Greek mythology, or if they had something else there where you're like, oh yeah, I do remember that, or Excalibur or something like that. They could have had something that had significance within Western or Anglo culture, but instead they had Archimedes I don't
Dial,
know.
yeah, Archimedes dial, whatever. It has some name like Themyscira or some bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
we
No one
don't care.
cares.
We don't care. It's not. I don't know why they had to try to make it so grounded. I mean, Crystal Skull is not much better because they did like literally aliens. Like it's so out of left
I
field.
know.
But this, at least, they had the opportunity to somewhat go back and retread old territory and at least the theme. And they almost did it. They kind of teased us with it at the beginning. They said, "Oh, dude, like the holy lance, the lance that pierced Christ's skin." And it's like, "Oh, dude,
I know.
I can't wait to find out what Christian powers this thing has," because we found out that there's some scary shit that goes on with other Christian artifacts from the first and third movie. And Temple of Doom, yeah, like you said, it kind of fell a little short of the other two, probably because of the artifact thing, but it was still a whole lot better than what we got here, because at least they tried to have mystical components and not go so hard into the science thing. And it also doesn't help that when they do eventually show like the origin of this device, it's so like low key. It's so low key. It's so non-intense. It's like sunny and shining and bright. And it's like, dude, Greek, or not, it's not even Greek, is it? No, it is. It's Greek and Roman. Greek and Roman culture. No one here in the modern day, I feel like, really identifies with that stuff. The only way anybody identifies with that era is through religion. And they totally just shit the bed on that because there's no religion involved. Not that every movie has to be religious, but
Right.
I don't know. That was the charm, dude. That was the charm.
Well, speaking of charm, dude, Indy
Yeah.
has no charm in this movie. And not to say he needs to be constantly like winking and nodding and just like hamming up the screen the whole time. But listen, Indiana Jones it's well known that he is a big, like almost ripoff of, well, not ripoff, but he's inspired by James Bond a little
Yes.
bit, right? And part of James Bond is getting that D in
He
the
slays,
P, right?
dude. He
Dude,
slays.
he does.
He's a
You can't help
monster.
it. Dude, when in Temple of Doom, when he's across that bridge, like, dude, I'm tempted to like dip my toe in, right?
He looked great, man.
Dude, he looks great. And even in the fourth one, he's with Marion again. So it's like it's rekindling this old spark, or old flame, I should say, that they had back in the first movie. So it's like, they might get back together. Dude, we know Henry Sr. was slanging it. To like,
he was too.
yeah, dude, it's in
He
his
sexed
blood.
The same woman as his son.
But I guess
insane.
maybe they wanted Indy to get with who's her name?
Who?
The girl in this wombat that the bitch in this
Helena.
movie.
Helena.
Yeah, Helena. Maybe they're like, oh, maybe they should get together. And like, no, she's a dog.
I was gonna
Indy
say,
would
my
never
boy
do that.
Indy would never stoop to that level, dude.
But he has no charm, dude. He's no charm. There's no like twinkle in his eye. He's just kind of like baffled by everything going on around him. And people are always like, that gum's not going to work, you idiot. And he goes, actually, it will, because I know the properties of it. And he's like, hot. And they're like, it'll never last. There's never like this guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's just getting
Yeah.
shit on.
I know.
Oh.
He's getting shit on. Well, listen, honestly, though, it's his own fault. He doesn't show that confidence like he had before. He's kind of sitting in the background, disgruntled, not happy with anything that's going on. And so when the atmosphere of the movie that it sets up, you think he's not going to know anything. So I don't even blame these people for questioning whether he knows things. And then he says it, and it's so mundane. There's no charm involved. It's completely. He's dead in the eyes.
Old people can still get it. And there's some out there that you're like, dude, this guy's just like, there's some tea just dripping off this guy, this confidence. The what's it? I'm trying to je ne sais quoi,
je ne sais quoi. Yes, dude, absolutely.
In the what's it called, his little classroom, back in the day, girls were like basically they said fuck me eyes, dude. They had like I love
literally
you
writing fuck me on their eyes. Yes, and there's a 20-year age difference. So you think
You're
that
telling
would
me-
scale up?
Well, at least not scale down, like exponentially down, like the decay on this. Anyways, it just makes me frustrated to see our boy not getting anything in his final movie, most likely, hopefully the final movie of Indiana Jones.
It will be. There's no way. This thing
All
was
right.
a failure, dude. Last one.
Last one, no charismatic sidekick. And like every movie you have one, even though people didn't like Mutt, come on, dude. He's way more charismatic than
Helena, dude.
Helena. And then the unibrow boy.
Oh yeah, he's not even memorable because he's not even like really addressed. They had like 2 throwaway lines in the movie to why he even existed. He was like a random kid inside of that auction house, and I didn't know what his significance was. And it like 30-40 minutes later, it just kind of hit me like, oh yeah, this kid's still tagging along. When did he come into the movie again? And you don't even remember because he's so insignificant. And I guess he's somewhat involved with Helena. Like I don't even remember the exact origin of that. But yes, in the first movie, you have Sala. That's his introduction, and he's actually a great sidekick in there. As long as also Marion, she's actually a pretty good female counterpart in that movie. Temple of Doom, probably the second weakest one with what's his name. It's not Hot Pie. It's not Shortstop. What you say it was?
It's Short Round, dude. I don't know how you forget that.
Short round.
Everyone knows Short Round.
Short Round. I think he's underrated, to be honest with you. But of course, the best charismatic sidekick. It should keep getting better with every movie. It is his dad. It's his fucking dad, dude. Henry Sr. and Marcus Brody. You can't just go 100-0 in these modern movies. It's upsetting.
I know, dude. It's and there's like a clear formula to it where it complements Indy in some way, and it actually made sense to have Mutt because as Indy's like losing his muscle, you see like a muscle. The muscle then comes in and is able to be that for him. And for his dad, he was way more the brains and the expert on this whole thing. So what was she to him in this? In what way did she compliment him? Like, Indy's like has no personality, so she's just going to be, and it's like insufferable the whole time.
She was an insufferable bitch the whole time. And that's what I said earlier. It's like, dude, what she did, she was just an Indy clone with like a more like a Free Willy personality, you know what I mean? Like it was much more carefree. It was whatever. I didn't mean Willie from second movie there.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? She just knew every single thing that he knew at every point that it needed to be known. So why was he even in the movie? It wasn't a compliment. She was just a replacement.
Yeah, at least by the end of it, who's his name? Who's the British guy in Kingdom of Crystal Skull? He's like, Jonesy. Oh, I'm a double crosser, Jonesy. Sorry.
Who was he?
The British guy, he's his friend who turns against him.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember what his name is. Yeah.
That is basically her, but she doesn't have enough of like I don't say agency because she definitely has agency.
Je ne sais quoi.
No, it's just like that guy was a piece of shit the whole way through, and the audience knew it and the writers knew it. This one, they're like, let's make her a piece of shit, but like that's like kind of empowering.
I know,
like,
yeah,
it's kind of cool. It's like
piece
what?
Of shit, but it's supposed to be charming here. It's not supposed to be. It's somehow, even though she is doing nothing but betraying him. There are several times even where she's like, "Oh yeah, I just told the police to shoot you." So it's like, are you kidding me? I'm in this foreign country. I don't know anything about this place, and you're having them try to kill me from trying to retrieve my item that you stole. And then later on, we're supposed to feel sorry because she says, "You're my godfather. You were supposed to raise me when my father died." It's like, what the dude? You're non-sympathetic.
It would make more sense if she actually knew nothing about this device or any of the history behind it, but just knew it was worth a lot of money. And then that was it. Like for some reason, Indy needs her for whatever reason. You can write a reason. But if she was just some person who was only in it for the money the whole way through, and then by the end of it, she learns, okay, it's more than the money. But the whole way through, she pretends like I'm emotionally connected to this thing, but I also only care about the money, and I really don't care about you. But then by the end of it, I care about, I don't know. I didn't believe it. And also on top of it, she was like a hyper, I don't want to say it's not hyper competent, but she knew everything about this device. It'd been better if she knew nothing about it except for the money's worth of it. Because then you'd actually
it would be the compliment. It'd be the compliment to Indy then, because she was all about like the materialness of it, or whatever, and he's all about the historical and cultural significance. Even though cultural significance isn't that extreme, he still cares about these archaeological objects. They're very near and dear to him. That's why his apparently best friend that we never heard of before this movie asked him to destroy this device, like his dying wish, basically. And then he just didn't do it. He did that for good reason because he cares so much about this stuff. But yeah, if she just already has all this information in her head, there's nowhere for her to go except for reveal, like what happened in this, that she was being like a 2-face, a 3-face, a 4-face the whole time. So I agree. It's like you said, it's the complementary nature of the charismatic sidekicks. We should have said that. We should have said there's no complimentary sidekick. Yeah. But yeah, either way.
Whatever. We'll change it in post, right?
Yeah.
Or let us know if we forgot something here. What do you think is in the top 5? Did we not hammer something home here? Let us know down in the comments, and smash that like button. Like I don't know, like you wish Indy was smashing some
hate smash. He can hate smash Helena. That's fine.
Some nasty Greek pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, Archimedes' daughter, man. I know she was in there somewhere.
Dude, can you imagine the venereal diseases back in time he could have gotten?
In ancient Rome, dude.
And bring it back with them.
Or the orgy was like an everyday occurrence for those people. It's elementary.
And subscribe if you want to see more content like this.